Emmanuel, a ranger at the nature reserve, was making his routine patrol when he received an unexpected call from a colleague. The urgency in his voice made it clear that this was no ordinary situation. An elephant had been spotted in a tree. At first, Emmanuel thought it was a joke, but his colleague's serious tone convinced him otherwise. Curious and slightly amused, he drove to the location. However, when he arrived, his amusement quickly turned to shock. There, nestled in the branches of a tree, was a baby elephant. It was a sight beyond belief. How could an elephant, even a young one, end up in such a position? As he approached, he grew concerned. The baby elephant seemed unharmed but completely unwilling to leave its strange perch. He and his colleague brainstormed ways to coax it down, but nothing seemed to work. Hoping food might lure it down, Emmanuel retrieved some animal feed from his car. He and his colleague held it out to the baby elephant, speaking softly to encourage it, but the little elephant didn't budge. It simply stared at them with wide eyes, as if frozen in fear. Frustrated and unsure of what else to do, Emmanuel suddenly remembered a special team transporting a rhino nearby. They had a crane, which might be the perfect solution. Quickly, he radioed headquarters and learned the team was still in the reserve. After some explaining and convincing, the team agreed to help. Soon, they arrived with the crane, and the difficult task of lifting the elephant began. Without sedation, the process was tricky, but after some struggle, they managed to lower the elephant safely to the ground. Everyone cheered, relieved that the bizarre incident had been resolved. However, as soon as the elephant was freed, something unexpected happened. Instead of running off to rejoin its herd, it turned and immediately climbed back into the tree. The rangers stood in stunned silence. Until now, they had assumed the baby was stuck, but it seemed to be choosing to stay in the tree. Before they could fully process this strange behavior, a new issue arose. Another ranger arrived in a hurry, bringing troubling news. There had been a break-in at the reserve the previous night. Poachers had entered the area. Emmanuel's stomach tightened. A poaching incident could mean missing or injured animals. His immediate concern for the baby elephant faded as he rushed to check the surveillance footage. Emmanuel and his colleagues reviewed the footage and found shocking evidence. A group of poachers had cut through the fence and entered the reserve. As they traced the events of the previous night, they saw something that sent a chill down their spines. The poachers had surrounded a herd of elephants, but the animals had managed to scatter and escape. However, one baby elephant had been separated from the group and, in its panic, had climbed a tree for safety. Then, they witnessed something even worse. While the poachers failed to capture the baby, they successfully trapped its mother. Emmanuel's heart sank. The poachers had used the baby as bait, knowing the mother would return to protect it. Now, she was gone, taken away while her child remained in the tree, the only place it had felt safe. Understanding now why the baby refused to leave the tree, Emmanuel knew their priority had shifted. They needed to find and rescue the mother. The rangers immediately contacted the police, who arrived quickly with several officers. The police examined the footage and, to Emmanuel's surprise, recognized the poachers. This group had been operating in several nearby reserves, using similar tactics. Despite previous efforts, they had always managed to escape before authorities could track them down. However, there was one key difference this time. The police had arrived earlier than usual, which could give them a chance to act before the poachers struck again. The police and rangers devised a plan. Based on past behavior, the poachers were likely to return to the reserve the following night for another attempt. However, they never used the same entry point twice, making it difficult to predict where they would strike. The rangers studied the map and identified the riverbank as a likely target. It was a strategic spot, as the poachers could easily trap animals there using tree trunks and barriers. The team spent the day herding elephants and rhinos toward the area to create a natural trap. Once satisfied, they moved to the next phase of the plan, camouflage. The rangers and officers concealed themselves among the dense vegetation surrounding the riverbank, carefully positioning themselves for an ambush. The team waited, tense with anticipation. They knew the poachers were coming. It was just a matter of when and where. Emmanuel clenched his fists, his mind racing with thoughts of the mother elephant. Would they be able to save her? Would the poachers realize they were walking into a trap? Then, a rustling sound in the distance signaled the arrival of their targets. The time had come. The rangers held their breath as the figures emerged from the darkness, unaware they were about to face the consequences of their actions. Moments later, the trap was sprung. Poachers flinched as officers closed in, their escape impossible. Relief washed over Emmanuel, but it was fleeting. The mother elephant. He had almost forgotten in the chaos. With the camp's location revealed, he and the team sped off, dust rising behind them. The midday sun beat down as they arrived at a silent, abandoned site. No movement, no cages, no elephant. Then, a faint clinking of chains. His pulse quickened as he pushed through the undergrowth. And there she was, weak, caged, but alive. Urgency took over as they freed her and rushed back. As the truck came to a stop, the baby elephant let out a desperate cry, scrambling from the tree. Mother and child collided, their trunks wrapped around each other, trembling but whole. Emmanuel exhaled, overwhelmed. Against all odds, they had made it.